Gary Tucker looks like an ordinary guy on his way to work, but to others, he's an extraordinary man who has come up with a solution to a big problem. He's found a way to get young people back to work.
No, you listen. Attitude is 50% at least of the battle.
Tucker is manager of Advanced Welding Techniques in Mississauga, a school that teaches people how to weld. His father, Ken Tucker, is the owner. With funding from Human Resources Development Canada, he launched a program called Quantum Leaps.
The objective of Quantum Leaps is to give people tools to work with so that they can become self-sufficient. People that are dependent on government assistance, people who can't figure out how to take the next step in their lives to get closer to where they might like to be, to get closer to their own dreams. Quantum Leaps is a doorway. And by providing them with a skill and hopefully with a new attitude and a new perspective, we're opening doorways to get to where they want to go.
To teach a person to weld, it costs up to $7,500. Quantum Leaps allows young people to become skilled welders and find permanent employment for free. According to Tucker, he gets 6 calls a day from companies wanting to hire welders.
With more and more individuals heading towards the high technology fields, the computer fields, there is a demand for welders. People are not flocking to the skilled trades in the numbers they once did. That's just a reality. It's a well-known fact at this point of the game. People are leaving high schools thinking about the computer job they're going to get or the white-collar job they're going to get versus a skilled trades job.
Today is Rick Brock's last class with Quantum Leaps. He's already been to a few job interviews and has a couple of offers to choose from. Brock says Quantum Leaps has helped him get his life back on track. For 4 years, he lived here, locked up in a cell, for committing armed robbery. It was in prison that Brock learned how to weld.
Gary's been a hero to me in such that he gave me the opportunity without even questioning my past, where he didn't care and he was able to look over it, and it's one of the few things that I see people do. I don't see it very often, put it that way.
It didn't concern me in the least because he had this look of determination in his eyes. He knew what he wanted. And again, our school was just a doorway for him to get there, and I was more than happy to let him walk through it. I understand you had a job interview and a weld test this morning?
This morning, yes.
Now a graduate of Quantum Leaps, Brock admits he's learned more than just welding skills. The experience has changed his behavior.
If your interview's at 9 o'clock, be there at 8:45.
When I first walked in here, I thought I was a big, badass welder, so they showed me that I wasn't even close, and I still am not. Gary, as soon as he sees the chip on his shoulder, he's right there to almost kick it right off.
We all have our faults, and a lot of times society will let us get away with those faults because they don't care enough. One of the things that might make us different as a school is that we do care, and we're not afraid to point out that type of thing to an individual if we think that it might help them to hear about it. Rick needed to hear that he had an attitude problem from someone like us.
For Larry Leader, a maintenance metal instructor at Joyceville Prison, he's relieved to see Brock on the other side of the fence.
He was one of those guys that you kind of wonder in the back of your mind what the hell they're doing here. To see one of the guys that you know you worked with and that, it really kind of makes you feel good. That maybe something he did here or something that was done here helped him out enough that he got straightened around and got a good job.
I can improve my life. I can go on with my life and make it better. And they've shown me that, hey, you've got those wings, you better use them, or you're just gonna end up back where you were before.
While Brock is making a new start, another welder a few miles away has stopped relying on the government. Tammy Last is a single mother who got a job after 6 weeks of training with Quantum Leaps. Today, she earns a paycheck rather than collecting mother's allowance.
Before, I was really depressed. I was really down. I felt like I had no life. I felt like I was going to be stuck there forever, that I was going to live in a hole forever. And I just had nothing to look forward to. Like, there's no point in dreaming.
Last used to sit by the phone in her basement apartment, desperate to talk to somebody. She couldn't afford a babysitter to watch her son if she went out to look for a job. Even if she found a job, no babysitter wanted to work late hours. She felt trapped.
I think the worst thing in the world is feeling like you can't do anything. It's so bad for your pride. And then you get to a point where you don't even want to get up, because it's just a reminder every day that you're doing nothing.
I asked her, why are you here? What's your motivation? And she said, I have a 5-year-old son, and I want to provide him with everything I didn't have as a child. I want to give him everything he needs to have a good life. And I said, that's a good motivation, and this can help you to get there. When we began to discuss job opportunities for Tammy, we were looking at places that offered shifts that would allow her to spend time with her son. We looked at companies that were close enough to home so that she could spend more time with her son. That was what was important to her, so that's what was important to me.
I like going to work. I like knowing that when I finish a day, I've done something good. And when I come home, I'm tired for a good reason. And I can sleep now. It's an amazing feeling to go to work every day and to know that you've done something productive and acting like a regular person, you know. It's a really good feeling to know that my little boy can look at me now and say, Mom, I want pizza for dinner, and I can buy it for him. And it's not going to make me broke. My life has just totally changed. I'm always out doing things, having fun, taking my kid places. It's just totally different freedom. I walk into a place and I feel confident now. Before I felt like a loser.
Hard work has paid off. Last has earned enough money that she and her son Jordan are packing up and moving out of their basement apartment into a house. But Tucker now faces a dilemma. Federal funding has dried up. Up until now, Joanne Long from the HRDC has been able to support his project. Quantum Leaps will have to shut down.
We had an agreement with the province many years ago that we would technically get out of the purchase of training, so our department can no longer purchase training directly from vendors.
I've sworn that I'm not going to let the project die. It's been 100% successful. I look at the money that's being thrown into projects that aren't working. We've got a city with 2 million people in it, and they've got hostels springing up all over the place. They've got hostels that have been in Toronto for 20 years. And these hostels, these places for homeless people, they're brothels and they're places to go and buy drugs. And that's well known by the government officials that are pumping the money into them. They're not accomplishing anything. They're not solving any problems.
The community would be a better place if we had more people like Gary. Unfortunately, the government doesn't always have the dollars to do all the things that we need to do in the community, so it's really helpful when someone like him can pick up the ball and roll with it and attempt to find community support for his program on his own.
Tucker continues to look for ways to start up Quantum Leaps again. Even though he's given young people a better future, he doesn't consider himself a hero.
I consider myself to be on a mission of continuous improvement. I'm trying to evolve. I work at personal evolution. I work at raising my own level of consciousness on a daily basis. When I fail, when I fall on my face, I do my best to stand back up and keep going, because I think there's more things I need to learn as an individual.